Howdy ho, good neighbors. What's going on? It's Phil Russert. It's CreatorCon Q&A. I have to tell you, tonight's a very special show, so I need you all to turn out and come out and tune in because I have a great guest. He's a really good guy. I met him a year and a half ago on Facebook, and he's become a friend of mine. I hope to break bread with him at my home someday or his home. And he's doing what many of us are doing, and he's pursuing his dream, and he's trying to launch his book finally on Kickstarter, which has been in production for a while. So please stick around. Please don't tune out. Please give this campaign a chance. Check it out. He's really one of those people you want to root for. He's a good man, a good guy, a good human being, and he's more of what this independent industry needs. So we're going to talk today. We're going to launch live a Kickstarter page. The campaign will start here live. It is Cold Cutter. It's a noir story that I got to read the script a while ago, and I think it's enjoyable, and I'm not even a noir fan. It's well written, but it's also illustrated and inked by the creator, who I'm going to introduce in a moment, written by the creator, and everything was created by the creator. And he's a really great guy. So without further ado, Charles W. Morgan.
Hello, Phil. How are you today?
What's going on? What's the W for, man?
Winston? The W stands for William, and it's been handed down about 3 generations.
Okay, oh, look,
so my dad was William.
Already.
Yep, getting a phone call already.
So I'm sharing this out to a bunch of pages. We want to get some love for you. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little about you and what inspired Cold Cutter.
Okay, well, Cold Cutter was a story, a crime noir story that's been dancing around in my head for quite a few years. And
that's a big space.
Yeah. So, so I've always had this dream that I would do this crime noir story because I've always been a fan of stuff, of TV shows, like Mike Hammer,
remember Mike Hammer, Mickey Spillane,
different detective type shows, like different shows that involve detectives and of course the comic strips, such as like Alex Raymond's Rip Kirby, and a comic graphic novel done by David Lloyd called Kickback several years ago. So I had this vision of a story. I just didn't have it all written out. So a couple years ago, I decided, hey, this is the time. Put it down on paper and let's do it. So, I wrote the story, the script, and started fleshing out the thumbnails, for the comic art. And, I've kind of learned different methods of doing that. And, so I just kind of I just kind of started with the thumbnails and, to try to create what I want my pages to look like, what I want the flow to look like in the story. And that's pretty much the beginnings of it. And I had this story about a man named Dylan Kutter, who's a private investigator in modern New York, in modern Manhattan.
Real quick, what made you pick Manhattan, being a Georgia guy?
Well, yeah, I'm a Georgia guy. So I visited Manhattan a few years ago. And I always thought, if you did a crime noir story, that would be the ideal place, the ideal world to do it. Because there's so much there, that you can just so many possibilities and potentials, you got the Statue of Liberty at Liberty Island. You've got statue, you've got all these monuments, and of course, you just got all these gritty looking streets, right? So when we visited there, it just kind of said, it just kind of gave me a little bit of a push that, it kind of inspired me. That's what I'm trying to say. It kind of inspired me to say, hey, this is something I can do, so that's the beginning of that location for the story. And I wanted to have a human element within the story. So it starts out, Dylan's in a very dark place. His brother is his partner, but he's been murdered. And mainly because of what they do, and that's investigate drug lords and criminals on the street. So
Right.
so the reason that he's in a dark place is he's basically is mourning the loss of his brother at that point. So that's where the story begins.
So now, obviously, you've always wanted to do this. You've got a passion for it. Where did you come up with Dylan? Is there a little bit of you in Dylan? Because usually
Yeah,
writers, especially new writers, write from what they know.
There may be a little bit of me in there. I'm not sure. They always say that there's a little bit of the creator in the protagonist or in his character.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those things where you see parts maybe could be, and I definitely have a mixture of crime noir and western.
Cool.
And when you see the story all the way to the end, then you'll kind of understand that. You'll kind of like that. Yeah, it kind of has a mix of the two.
Now, name aside, is there any of your wife in the protagonist's lady?
Well, her name is Triff Austin, and my wife is Trifana Morgan. So, as far as the name, that's where I got her name from. So I said, that's a very unique name, something that I thought would work well. So as far as so you might would say there's a lot of her in this character.
Yeah, if you want to sleep tonight in your own bed, you better say so. And it's all the good stuff.
Exactly right. That's
a couple
exactly
things
right.
Good. Sean Mendoza's here. He wears his stickers. He always loves stickers. So you know what, Sean? Go check out the stickers that he has on his campaign. Jason Meadows, the letterer of the book. Howdy, folks.
Hey,
What's up, Jason? Hope you're feeling better. Jason was drinking some serious glass shards last night, so his voice is shot. Kenny Calderon is going to join us shortly. Huzzah!
Hey, Kenny.
So we're going to bring Kenny on in a minute. We're going to launch live in a minute. Before we launch live, hey, Charles Santino, great writer, has his own awesome book. How are you, Charles? Yes. I'm going to play the trailer real quick, and then which is has a voiceover by the awesome Rafael Tavares Jr., who couldn't make it tonight. And then we're going to launch this bad boy live. All right, let's enlarge this. We're going to do this. Let's do it.
3 a.m. Times Square, New York City. I can't sleep. Might as well come down to the street to get a smoke. The name is Dylan Kutter. My professional life as a private investigator has been interesting, to say the least. My personal life has all but been destroyed by the murder of my brother and partner by a drug lord named Jabbo Jones. He's now on death row, waiting to get his.
So we got an awesome voiceover by Raphael, and the trailer was done by Robert Powers, awesome dude. Whoops, sorry. And we got covers by Kenny Calderon, which is going to be on in a minute. Letters by Jason Meadows, and you have a cover inked by legendary, and we lost him. Legendary Joseph Rubenstein did inks on one of the covers, so you can get a cover inked by Joe Rubenstein. And he's back. What's going on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We don't hear you. Nope. We don't know what happened, bud. Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. There you go. Can we hear you? Nope, we can't hear you. Why'd you go to headphones? You were fine. All right. Well, while we're doing this, I'm going to bring on Kenny while we Kenny, if you want to come in a little early, hit the link. Come on in, bud. We're sorry we're having some technical difficulties. I'm going to show you the page while Charles figures out what the hell happened. But here is Kenny Calderon. He is one of the cover artists. What's going on?
How you doing, everyone?
Why are you always eating when we go live? You're like me. You eat on the run when you get the time, right?
Exactly.
So, Kenny, how the hell are you?
Good. You know, catching up with work, feeling rested. You know, got a lot of good stuff coming out of the pipeline.
Very cool. There's Kenny's bio, by the way. When you go to the page, we're going to launch soon. You'll see it. And then we're going to go into Kenny's cover. We'll show some pages. We'll show all this stuff. Here's Kenny Calderon's cover. That's Cold Kutter, Dylan Kutter, and Triff. Nice job. So what were you thinking when you were doing the cover as far as composition and relating to the character?
Well, knowing very little about the story, I just know that Charles had some key elements that he wanted to be displayed in this particular art piece, and having the noir aspect, and it being based in New York. I had to sort of like channel the old school.
Looking like LL in his prime. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Channeling some of the old school, like Untouchables kind of vibe,
right?
And when it came to the New York backdrop, I remember being able to see that from where I grew up in Rockaway, the Manhattan skyline and the way it looked. So it felt really good. I love doing art with a lot of heavy blacks in it. So the noir aspect, it was right up my alley.
Very cool. And we got, as you can see, there is a black and white, a gray tone variant of this cover as well, if you really want that noir feel. So they got the gray tone cover by Kenny, and we've got the full color. Those are available if you pledge. We're going to go live. Hey, Charles, you're having technical difficulties, but why don't you launch right now while you're doing that? Go live, all right, with the campaign, so we can start seeing the pledges and the backers going up and up and up. Can you hear me? Charles? He doesn't even hear me. What the heck did you do? You were fine. Charles. I'm going to start calling you Calamity instead of Charles. Calamity Morgan. You can't hear me. This is great. I can say whatever I want. You punk. You punk. It's your live launch party, you punk. Yeah, he doesn't even hear me. What the hell is going on? So anyway, we got 5 cover choices, okay? This one is done by Charles himself with some color splash by Rob Powers, who did all the trade dress, did the trailer, and digitized his publishing logo. So very cool.
That was very well done. I caught that like in one of the recent posts that he did on the Facebook feed, and Rob did a great job with that.
Yeah, and Charles, he drew this, and Rob digitized it. All right, let's see.
He said go ahead and launch.
There you go.
I'm going to go ahead and launch. Okay.
We got you live now, buddy. I don't know what happened, but we got you. All right. And then we have another cover. This one is also drawn by Charles, but it is inked by Joseph Rubenstein, legend in Marvel and DC. If you don't know who Joseph Rubenstein is, I question your comic knowledge, as he is one of the legends, and cool to talk to, and very nice. So you get that New York feel, you get the noir going on. This is another one drawn by Charles with Giorgio Rosasco colors. Butter, kapow, rat tat.
Who colored that last one?
This one?
Which one?
The one
Giorgio
before.
Rosasco.
Giorgio.
This one?
Oh, we didn't put the colors up. Giorgio did this one too?
Jesse Higgy done that one.
Oh, that's right. Jesse Hagee did this.
That's very well done.
Yeah, well, Jesse's a really, really solid colorist. I forgot to put him in the thing. Crap. All right, I'll have to put that in there. I'll edit it. I mean, we get original art if you like that, besides the book. Facebook user, who are you? I'm glad you came in. Is that Dell? Anyway, so we got the black and white art for sale. The original cover by Kenny Calderon is for sale. It's part of one of the tiers. And we've got some 9x12 not published, but art by Charles W. Morgan.
That's right.
Himself. Charles Winston Morgan. Winston sounds much more regal. We're going to go Winston.
That's a little too sophisticated for me.
The foreshortening is great on here. It's a great job. That's not easy to pull off. So very nice.
Thank you.
Another piece, original piece that is going to be, is it here, I should say, on here? Did you go live?
Yeah, it's live right now.
All right. You can make any cover a virgin or a foil or a virgin foil. So very cool. I'm going to let you know when you do black and whites in foil, they actually look cool. They're just like metal. They're pretty damn cool. So don't think you can't get a black and white in foil. They're very cool. We're gonna go over the tiers. We got stretch goals. When we hit 1,000, you're gonna get a cold Kutter sticker. There you go, Sean, if you're still with us. Oh, Joe Ryan, what's up, buddy? Joe Ryan, by the way, is going to be officially an intern for me and Philbo and Legendary. So we welcome him to the family. He's a cool,
very nice,
awesome artist, and he's gonna be part of the family. I'll introduce him in the Legendary group. Anyway,
wonderful.
1,500, get another sticker of the Cold Kutter art. That's very cool. Sticker. 2,500, we get a sticker of Kenny's cover and a sticker of this art done by Charles at 4,000. Can we hit 4,000? Let's do that. We got some sample pages here. You can read at the site, so you can see what his writing is like. You can see the art. It's that gritty noir. Charles did all of this himself. He did the sequential art, the line art, the inking, fantastic work. I mean, nice details, fully rendered pages, and the writing is solid, very serious. Mama said, knock you out. There's Jason Meadows with the lettering. No, that is not the Vulture from Spider-Man. And who is this handsome dude? Is this a dating site or is this a Kickstarter campaign? That's one hot looking dude, man. Damn. You're probably gonna get a lot of female backers with that. Here's Charles looking like he's nervous for a job interview. All right, so we looked at that. We're gonna look at some of the tiers, okay? And by the way, I'm back in this bad boy right now. You didn't launch.
It says it's live.
Oh, let me refresh. Maybe that's why.
Says congratulations, your project is live.
It did. Okay, it just didn't. I had to refresh.
Okay.
All right, let's back this. I'm telling you guys.
Kenny, appreciate you coming on, man.
No, it's my pleasure. I mean, I had a lot of fun working on the cover, and I caught a glimpse of some of the art from the pages, and I dig it, dude. I didn't realize you were among us, the art of the art community.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do my best.
It's really good work, though. It's really good work.
That's very humbling, man, coming from you.
Did I screw up and not do an all cover? I thought I did an all cover tier. What the hell? Where'd it go? I did an all cover tier. Why is it not here? Ay. I'm gonna add that if you want all 5 covers, all in.
Yeah. It was in there, I thought.
It was. I don't know what happened. Now there's an all-in foil, but there was an all-in right before it. There was
Well,
an all-in virgin, and there was an all-in covers. Oh, complete. Here it is.
y-
Sorry.
yeah, 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 complete
All right.
cold cutter. Yeah.
There you go. I'm going to remove for a minute so you don't see my card. It shows the last 4 only, but still, you don't need to see that. I got you, brother. There we are. Your first pledge. I wanted to be number 1.
Well, thank you so
Make it
much,
so
Phil. I appreciate
number
that.
1. That's your start. Listen, I'm very serious about this. I know money's tight. I understand. God knows I'm seeing it on my campaign, but this is worth it. Let's get this guy to $2,000. Let's get his first project, his dream. Let's get it funded. Oh, we're at $218. We got a second backer. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Good start. So listen, tell us now. All right, really tell us. Why do we want to buy this book? Why is it worth our dollar?
I believe it's worth the dollar because, just all the passion that I have for this project in the book. I've tried to create a character, some characters with real life experiences, with some human drama. It's not just shoot them up and leave everybody laying in the street. I've got a little bit of some characterization, some backstory. We're going to go into that later, future issues. It's something that's going to be at least a 4-issue series.
Nice.
To tell the whole, to tell the story I want to tell. So, yeah. So just, I promise it's not going to disappoint. I put everything I've got in it.
He got LL Cool J involved. What the hell? And Joe Rubenstein and the Vulture.
Yeah. So that's another thing too.
And Brad
Joe.
Pitt. Was that Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Joe's been a real
Pitt.
huge help to me.
That's Brad Pitt. Yeah, so you got Brad Pitt, LL Cool J, the Vulture, and Joe Rubenstein involved in his campaign.
Exactly.
That costs money, man. Let's go.
Yeah, I really got to say I'm really fortunate, to have worked with Joe Rubenstein on this project, and also Kenny, and everybody's just been just top notch.
Eric and Karen said they just pledged.
Yeah, that's my brother and sister-in-law.
Well, you can still say thank you to them.
Thank you.
Where your manners, you slob.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Oh, you got a third backer. Was that them? You're at $318. Dude, you're starting really well, man.
Possibly could be.
This is working out great. So let's see. Am I allowed to? Let me look at the dashboard. That's good that I can look at the dashboard because I need to keep up. You're 15% funded already in a few minutes. That's fantastic. Let's keep this going, guys. Come on.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Let's go. Let's do this. Oh, it's taking its time now. So you got 7 project followers, of which 2 converted. It's 20%, 20%. Cool. So you got some followers.
All right. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to say this very sincerely. Okay. I put a lot of time into putting his page together, so you better frickin' pledge now. In all seriousness.
Phil, you've been great, man. You've been great.
Now we're friends. We take care of each other. You've done a lot for me. We take care of each other. You're a good man. I'm very serious about this. Charles is a good man, and he's the kind of person you want to support just based on his character. But having said that, the product has to be good, right? Our money has to go where we like it. If you like crime noir, you like character-driven stories, you like, solid writing in an indie book with some great panels and, sequential work, this is a good book. I'm not even a crime noir fan, and I promise you, Charles is my friend, but I can't push anything that I don't believe in. I would just be minimally complimentary and let him do all the talking. I wouldn't promote like this if I wasn't sincere in saying, friend or not, it's a solid book. And indie community, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you get some amazing stuff. Sometimes you get some not so amazing stuff. This is on the good side of things. You need to back him. Let's get him to 2,000 sooner or later so he doesn't have to sweat. It's already hot and humid there in Georgia. We don't need him sweating more. I mean, he got dressed up all nice and stuff for this. So come on, look at him, collared shirt. When I saw him before, he had a Red Lobster bib on, food all over his face.
Who could afford Red Lobster, right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully they can afford Kutter. The prices are not high. Look, we're talking about, you have the higher tiers, of course, but you got $10 books, $5 PDF. If money's tight, it's okay. $5 PDF. You've wasted more money on a McDonald's Happy Meal, which is just clogging your arteries anyway.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Or Starbucks cup of coffee where they wrote your name wrong, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's get this funded. Let's see some more backers coming in. Come on, you can do it. Eric, I don't know if it was Eric or his wife. I've watched this guy draw for many years, and I'm proud of him. This is Eric. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's my brother. Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, you guys won't be disappointed. So, Kenny, you had said, you didn't really know a lot about this because Charles didn't think to send you the book. Recommendation for the future, Charles. Anytime I have a cover artist, I let them get the free PDF and read it because that way the artist has the best idea of the character. But he did a great cover anyway because Kenny's just awesome. And by the way, his rep is hot.
Top
yeah,
notch.
He's great.
Top notch. My rep. That guy.
Really good guy.
The key too is that you've got solid talent around you, and that's the mark of a good publisher, which you are now. Congratulations. Technically, $318, even if it's not collected, someone was willing to buy it. You are a publisher, so you surround yourself with some great talent like Joseph Rubenstein and Kenny Calderon and Rob Powers and Jason Meadows and that handsome dude. What the hell's his name again? But anyway,
Phil Russell.
Hey, Rod Ramos Rodolfo, another awesome artist. What's going on? So, what was your experience with the business end and the production end? I mean, it's one thing when you drew it, you inked it, and you lettered it. But now there's other stuff. There's getting it trade dressed, coming up with logos. There's so much of that that's not the fun stuff.
Yeah, so like doing the trade dresses and logos, I contacted this guy I knew named Phil Russer. And I said, look, Phil, I need to get some logos done and I need to have some trade dress stuff done. So, he's like, well, I got this really talented guy named Rob. So
the Deaf Shogun. And he introduced me to this guy named Rob Powers. And I kind of give Rob a little synopsis of what I kind of would like to see. I might send him a little sketch or something, and he just pops it right back. And I think first time he got it, it's just like, he really is good at logos, man. Every logo I have is made by him. He knocks it out of the park. He nails it in first or second try most.
Yeah, so I wanted that O and Cole to look like a rifle scope, or gun scope with crosshairs. And I said, look, I'd like to have it to be just tinted slightly green so that there's a glass there. It's like a lens, you know what I'm saying? So that was my vision, and he nailed it, and really happy with it. He's very, very talented. And also
Jason says you and I, Kenny and I, look like an even sexier Crockett and Tubbs. Nice. At Baltimore, we're gonna have to call ourselves Crockett and Tubbs, man. Sorry, Charles. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as far as the publisher logo, I kind of sent you a couple sketches, and you were like, I really like that one right there with the shifter knob, and I'm like, yeah, I do too, So you gave me an idea about it, and I kind of come up with that 4-Speed Studios name. And then I kind of turned the knob and used the 4 on the top of the gear shift. It's the 4 and the 4-speed. So it's kind of a cool cool little logo that I was able to come up with your help, Phil. You know,
No,
you
not
kind
my
of gave me
help.
that
No,
idea.
you did it.
Yeah, well, you kind of gave me that idea, you know, about how to use the 4 on the knob as in the 4-speed name. So it just kind of fell together the way it is. It's really kind of, you know,
I think you give me too much credit.
it's pretty neat. And you know, I wanted something to be a little hot, so I put some flames on top of it. You know,
Hot
little
rod.
flame.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little hot rod shifter there. And you know, in book 2,
That's
we're
his
going to
wife's
be
nickname
introducing.
for him, just so you know.
So in the second issue, I'll be introducing another character, and it's going to be his set of wheels. So he's going to gain a set of wheels in issue number 2. I will say that.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Now, have you
yeah.
scripted out number 2 yet, or
Number 2 is fully scripted, and I've got about 4 pages of art done already.
no? I do want to make this clear too. Charles is new to Kickstarter, but I'm here to help. His fulfillment will go smooth and quickly. When you back this book, you will not be waiting months and months. The book is done. We're going to have it formatted for print before this campaign is even over. And it's going to be ready for print once we fund. And that's it. Your brother said 1969 Chevelle shifter.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Eric. It's going to be a 69 Chevelle.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I just want you to know you can trust that fulfillment will occur, and it will occur professionally and smoothly, barring any outside issues, and quickly. And I will make sure that happens, and I will help Charles. Now, I don't live near him, so I can't pack the damn things, but I will help him with all the logistics and all the technical stuff that he's new to ensure that you guys get what you want right away. And Charles is an upstanding man. He's a trustworthy creator. So don't be afraid to pledge. And just remember, they do not take your money until the end of the campaign is over. So there's no reason why you can't pledge right now, even if you don't have the money this week. It's a 4-week campaign. Okay? So please don't hesitate to back. And we're at 4 backers, $376. Way to go, bud. Oh, we got 5 backers at 405. You are almost. What's the percentage?
All right.
That's
making me happy.
You're 20% funded. I thought so. You're almost 25% funded, man.
That's exciting. Very exciting. Well, I couldn't do it without all the talent around me, that's for sure. You two guys have really made it a lot easier for me.
No, I mean, you know, again, I'm only looking at it from an artist perspective, and you know, as a creator with my own IPs that I eventually put out, you know, I understand the passion project, right? And having that brainchild that sort of like lives rent free in your head that, you know, you have to ultimately evict. You know what I'm saying? And kind of put out there. So
what I envy about Charles is that he can draw the book himself. You know, I mean, getting a letterer is one thing, but he can draw it himself. Me, I can't draw a stick figure straight. So, you know, unless I have the money to go into production with an artist, my books are sitting stale. And unfortunately, a few of them are sitting stale right now. And I have so many great things in place. But, you know, Charles, he can just keep drawing and putting them out. So, you know, there's not going to be, oh, the book is late because the artist didn't meet the deadline. Charles is the artist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, I've been drawing pretty much all my life off and on.
Good.
And, you know, 2015, I decided, hey, you know, I need to try to do something with it. So.
And how long had you been, you know, how long had you been in the concept stages of this book before you actually started to production?
Probably 6 months of actually kind of seriously thinking about what I might put on paper. You know, just kind of mapping out a story in my head. I'm actually driving down the road talking to my wife, and the story just kind of pops in my head, how I would finish it. So it's kind of like I knew how it started, but I didn't know how it would kind of end, or kind of would go to the end of book one. You got to have a beginning, a climax, an end, or a cliffhanger. And I was able to it just kind of popped in my head. Here's how you're going to do it. Here's the cliffhanger. And it does end with the cliffhanger.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good. I read it. Like I said, I read the script. It's good. So let me ask you though, with your writing process, did you have a page count in mind, or did you say, I'm going to write this to where it needs to go, and whatever pages it is, it is?
Yeah, so I had a 22 page count in my mind when I started. I think because when I first started drawing the book, I didn't have it all mapped out tightly enough. So I ended up at some point realizing, hey, I've got to add about 4 pages to this book. So it ended up like a 26 page kind of thing. I think it actually ended at like 27. So the story.
Keep in mind, you have to be divisible by 4 for printing, so you're going to have to add a page.
Yeah, we're adding a page. So yeah.
And those are the things you're learning as you do this, because there's a lot to making a comic that people don't realize.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of logistical things and technical things. So
yeah, so that's one thing that I've kind of mapped out now is exactly what I'm going to do by adding another page. So I think we're going to end up exactly correct on that. So, but yeah, I've really enjoyed scripting the book, doing the layouts, then going to Bristol board, doing the sequentials, and I try to map all that stuff out before I lay it on the page. How am I going to tell this story?
You got
How does that feel to you're creating everything? Like this is it's all you, stage by stage. It's like every part of you. How's that feel?
Yeah, so it's like you're an artist. It's like you're a movie director. So you're just saying, hey, I got this blank canvas right here, and it's white. It's white paper staring back at me, and I've got to create a world out of it. So I'm thinking about different camera angles, different sequences, pacing of the story, lighting, all this kind of stuff. And, it's a challenge. It really is.
Now, before I get into my question and Rod's question, Raphael, who did the voiceover for the trailer, says,
hey, Raphael,
he couldn't make it. We played the trailer earlier. We are going to replay it towards the end of the show. So you've gone full noir. So Rod has a question for you, and it's actually one of my questions. I do have a follow-up to it. What's your process to create interesting dialogue?
Well, that's kind of a big challenge for me because I'm living down here in the South in Georgia, and I'm writing a book about New York, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
I
think
would never
in
know
terms.
by your accent that you were from Georgia. Just saying. Go ahead.
So I've got this Yankee Southern drawl here going on. So I'm actually writing stuff down, and then I send it to Phil, and Phil's like, nobody would say that here.
No.
No. So on a serious note, he did help me with that because he is my assistant editor. So he did throw in a few suggestions that really helped. And so you have to kind of think about the character, maybe their background, maybe their education level, things like that you can think about and just kind of know where they come from, try to understand the character, the way they may speak, and then just try to stay consistent with the dialogue.
Cool. Kenny's a native New Yorker. You know how we talk.
Yep.
And we're upfront and we're aggressive in how we speak, and it's straight up. There's no sugarcoating when we talk.
Yeah. Coincidentally, my wife was just teasing me about that last night. How I still say 5th and 10th instead of 10th with the TH, and how I sound aggressive,
When
but
you're not.
I do it in a sweet tone, right? So she when we go to my mother's house in Jacksonville, right? My mom and my stepdad, straight out of New York, lived in Hewlett for a while in Long Island. They met in Rockaway. So, like, when they talk to one another, it sounds like it's a fight. It sounds like
Well, you just
it's an
said
aggressive
mother.
thing.
My mother's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
There's no
it
R in
sounds
that bad
aggressive
boy. Yeah.
and abrupt, but you know, it's out of love. Like, you know, like
Sure.
if you're not from New York, you wouldn't understand.
Hey, do you know what time it is? What do I look like, Big freaking Ben?
100%. Like, that's the type of stuff that she was teasing me about, right? Because I showed her the thing for the tragedy Kickstarter, right? And I'm like, oh, this sold already. And she was like, oh, when did you work on this? I was like, last night. You weren't paying attention, but I said it very sweetly, right? And she's like, God, you sound like your mother.
And like
the way your mother talks to your stepdad.
And what they hear is, what are you, freaking blind? What do you pay attention?
Yeah.
What we're saying is like, oh, you didn't notice?
Yeah.
We're saying, oh, you didn't notice. And they hear, what are you not freaking paying attention?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what it is we're in such a hurry. There's so much going on that we don't have time to add all that crap. It's just, let's straight get there, you know? And like Charles said, you got to keep that in mind culturally when you're writing about someone else, you know, how they would speak. You know, like Rod Ramos is Brazilian. I don't know much about the Brazilian culture, but I'd have to research that to see, you know, because even if I could speak Portuguese, their slang, you know, or like we'll say something that, you know, maybe they don't get what that slang term means. You know what I mean? Like if I went over to Red Hook, they'd be like, yo, you want to come over to my crib? I'd be like, crib? What? There's a baby? What are you talking about? I was like, no, it's my home and my house. You know what I mean? So, you know, every culture will have its street slang, and we, you know, good writers research those things or reach out to people that can help them. Like Sean Chen once reached out to me because I'm a nurse, and he said, would they say this in a hospital? And I said, no, they would say it like this. It was just one line. But that's what, you know, people don't realize. Writing is 90% researching and 10% writing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, we don't beat around the bush in New York. So when you write issue 2, just remember that we don't beat around the bush. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, if you want to drive through. Okay.
Yes. So like when I was at Heroes Con and I hung around Phil for a few days, it was like once an hour. It's like once an hour I had to look over to see if he was mad at me. It's just the way he speaks. It's just things he would say. Not that they were bad. It was just like, you know, here in the South we have the Southern hospitality thing.
Yeah, sure. You do.
So you might talk around it a little more, and you know, I don't know what you call it.
Butter.
You sugarcoat it a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah, I'm a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I come across like that in message sometimes. I think people think I'm upset with them. Like, no, I'm just doing 50 things, and I was just very quick with the answer, straight to the point. But I'm not upset at all. You know, hey, Phil, you got 5 minutes? Yeah, I'll see you. Yeah, I'm busy, but I'll be there in 5.
Yeah.
And it sounds like I'm busy. All right, I'll be there in 5. That's not what I'm saying, you know? So.
Yeah, so I kept all that in mind when I was doing the, you know, thinking about the dialogue, you know, for the book. I just thought, well, I've got to really kind of think about the cultural aspect, like you were talking about, and if, you know, if there's something that's not quite right, I knew Phil would catch it.
I caught a few grammatical errors too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, when he was using those horrible terms like bitches and hoes, I was like, you can't put that in your book, man. It's not right. It's just not how you.
No. That wasn't in my book, though.
Rod says, I like the sugar, please. Rod is like a sweetheart of a guy. He has like the most innocent heart. He's a good dude. Yeah, definitely. But he's also funny and he likes it thick. You know, his ice cream shakes. He likes it thick. He's gonna start laughing in a minute. That's an inside joke. If you watch one of our live streams, you'll understand. So look, we are. This is a 29 days to go campaign with a goal of $2,000. Now, tell us what this goal is going to achieve. Like, is it just covering the print cost and shipping, or what is that goal doing? Because obviously it's not a high goal. It's not like you're gonna go.
Yeah.
We go in Sizzler afterwards. I mean.
Yeah.
We go McDonald's. We go McDonald's.
Yeah, it's not going to do that. It's just going to basically cover, the print costs, some of my art production cost, just the very basic actual costs to produce the book. Because, like you said, I'm writing it, I penciled it, I inked the interiors.
But you did have Kenny do a cover, and is he expensive? Like $7,000. No, I'm kidding. You had colorists, you had Joe Rubenstein, and
Joe Rubenstein,
he wasn't cheap. He's a legend.
He's not right. He's not cheap, but he's been really kind to me. I've learned a lot from Joe. He's like a mentor. He's.
I want to make this public statement. If Joe's watching, I hope he takes it the right way. If he doesn't, c'est la vie. But sometimes Joe comes across as rough and grumble. You may take him the wrong way, but he's actually a really nice guy. And when he critiques your work, he's really looking for you to be better. He's not trying to tear you down, and he won't. Right. There's some guys that they come hard at you. He will be honest and direct and straightforward with what you need to work on, but he is trying to build you up. So don't be afraid to approach Joseph Rubenstein and say, hey, do you have time to look at my portfolio? He may not have the time at the moment, but if he does, he's going to give you honest, fair critique from his expertise, and he's not going to tear you apart. He's going to try to build you up.
Yeah, he is real good at that. There's been several times I was kind of down after he critiqued something, and then I just stood back, thought about what he said, looked at what I did, and I'm like, he's right. He's right.
You have to put that ego away. It's got to be what does it take to get better? And if I have someone with the experience telling me, at the end of the day, and this is why I love Ricardo, it's about putting out the best book possible. End of story. Period.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly.
And that's why
yeah.
I put my handsome face attached to this, because to sell millions. That went past Kenny because he was busy reading something. He's getting love letters from his wifey.
Yeah, so
the love letter says, "Are you going to be on long? Because I want to go to bed."
Verbatim.
I know.
But yeah, like I said,
she's gonna ultimately watch this. Melly, I love you to death. We're only teasing. All right.
Oh, of course. Listen, the little bit I've met her, she is a classy, elegant, wonderful lady. You are smart, like me. You marry up, so to speak. I'm teasing, of course. But you are in the room, and she may want to go to sleep, and you're like,
no. She's, God bless her. She likes to pop in and tell me about her day, or tell me about because we're expecting a storm down here in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so she ran out to go get some batteries and such, and some supplies for the house and such.
Gotcha. Good night, Rod. Yeah, we hope the storm isn't severe for any of you. It passes over and everything's good.
Well, from the latest updates, it doesn't look like it's gonna hit us in Miami per se, but it is gonna touch the west coast of Florida, by the Panhandle and into the Gulf. So
I just realized something. Jason called us Crockett and Tubbs, and you are in Miami.
I am.
We are Miami Vice. Holy shit.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
We just need a gator.
Now, which one was Crockett and which one was Tubbs? Because I never watched that show.
Tubbs was the dark one. Crockett was
the dark one.
Was
Does that mean he's evil, or you mean the black guy?
No, he was he. You know what? I don't think he was black per se. I think he was
like dark,
like a Cuban guy, but just dark.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You know?
Because when you say the Dark One, I think of like the Dark Lord. You have the Dark Lord.
No. Don Johnson played Sonny.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Great show.
Miami Vice.
Ironically enough, one of the main bad guys in that show, the main drug dealer, his last name was Calderon.
Is that right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at all these ties.
Well. Got a little gangster name there.
His last name was Calderon. Because I'll never forget this. When the show was hot back in the 80s, it used to come on every Friday in New York. It used to come on every Friday. My dad, may he rest in peace, would like hype off of the season finale, would walk outside at like 9-10 o'clock in Rockaway and be like, I'm Calderon. And, you know, he couldn't speak really good English. So he sounded like kind of Tony Montana-ish, yelling out that he's a Calderon. Right? So, fun fact.
Guarantee. Yeah.
I was just looking, Jordan. Oh, Jordan, what's going on? How are you? Very cool. I had to put the face to the name. I'm sorry. So, we went off topic, but here's the deal. We're gonna put it up again. Oh, that's right. Al Bundy was on that show too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jason knows all about the criminals. He's the vulture after all. We're gonna put this up again. I want to show this trailer again with Raphael's voiceover, and that is Raphael's voice. He is not looking to be the new Barry White. So let's check this out.
I killed the camera.
3 a.m. Times Square, New York City. I can't sleep. Might as well come down to the street to get a smoke. The name is Dylan Kutter. My professional life as a private investigator has been interesting, to say the least. My personal life has all but been destroyed by the murder of my brother and partner by a drug lord named Jabbo Jones. He's now on death row to get his.
By the way, where did you get the name Jabbo Jones?
Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting name. It's like a pretty common nickname in the South. The name Jabbo and the last name Jones. Yeah. So I always thought it was kind of an interesting name. I just kind of popped it out of nowhere and just said, I think I'll go with it.
I like it. It sounds like a cool villain name.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Now,
I just wanted to come up with something different, something very unique.
Now, do you have other villains that you will be introducing, or?
Absolutely. Jabbo Jones is just the tip of the iceberg. So there's with anything, mafia, drug related, gang related. There's always somebody a little higher up, that we're going to introduce, and there'll definitely be some more villains that'll be slowly introduced, and may even be on the shocking side.
Cool.
So I've got some stuff planned. There's a backstory. There's also that kind of thing going on that we're going to see. We'll probably start seeing some of those things in issue number 2. And then issue 3 will reveal a little bit more. And then we might kind of wrap it up with a pretty good ending by 4. But there's a lot to tell between now and then.
Now, this is your passion play. Is this it? Or will you continue to publish other books? Or will you maybe come up with another story of Dylan Kutter?
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'd like to do another story of Dylan Kutter. But I do have some more ideas for some other books. They're totally unrelated. One is more on the, I don't know what you would call it, but it's more on the fantasy side.
Okay.
Not necessarily a superhero, but it's more of a fantasy type thing, but more to deal with kind of a reality mixture in there.
And you would draw that as well, or would you outsource?
I don't know. By that point, I'll have to consider outsourcing it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
'cause
always a
it's a large
possibility.
task to draw all these books.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to do two at one time. You know what I'm saying? If you're just doing one,
Mhm.
maybe you make it work. It still takes more time, but if you're looking
Right.
at multiple books, obviously I'd have to outsource that. Yeah. So
Your
we'll
brother had
see.
your brother said, fun fact, Charles drew a comic in the 1980s and sent it to Joe Kubert. No kidding.
Yeah, so I drew a packet of drawings. Just it was kind of like a mini comic in there, and then I had a bunch of drawings, and it was probably 30 or 40 pages on typewriter paper. You know, because that's all I knew to do. I was 10 years old, so I just fold it up, stick it in a manila envelope, and mail it out to Joe, and Joe evaluates it, and he's like, Charles, you got a lot of potential, and like for you to come up to my school when you graduate high school. I
He was
didn't
a
go that
sweetheart
route.
of a man.
Yeah. From everything I've learned and heard about him, he was a very nice gentleman, and
And
I really regret not going.
in my opinion, not taking it away from King Kirby,
Yeah.
but I think Joe Kubert is right there with him.
Yeah. I didn't appreciate his stuff when I was a little kid, honestly. I think part of it is because he drew war comics and, like GI Combat, Sergeant Rock.
Yeah, but his storytelling
it was-
ability, his sequential work,
Yeah.
his line work too. But by the way,
Yeah.
my favorite rendition of the Hulk ever is by Joe Kubert.
Yeah, so he drew a lot of those stuff like Tarzan, Tor,
Yeah.
Just a lot of things that I didn't get to see. So when I was looking through the newsstand, it was GI Joe and Sergeant Rock. I just wasn't into that as a kid. I wanted to see superheroes, But looking back on it now, he was probably the greatest. He
Yeah,
had
I
realism
do.
in his artwork.
Yeah, if I were to do a Mount Rushmore of
Mhm.
artists, he's definitely on it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I got some artists that are favorites of mine, but you have to recognize what his skill level and ability was, what he did for the industry,
Hmm.
and then some. So,
Yeah.
Will says, "Good morning, gents. In the world down under there, it's the morning."
Hey, Will.
Crikey.
Good morning.
Yeah, GI Combat and Sergeant Rock. There you go.
Yeah.
Hubert was always one of my favorites. His Tarzan and Hawkman was a big deal. Yeah, his Tarzan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tarzan.
it made you want to look at Tarzan. And that's a guy
Yeah.
who was half naked. Anyway.
Yeah. And now later on, he did a
Wonderful.
lot of graphic novels too. He did like a crime noir graphic novel called The Jew Gangster, was really good. And I've actually looked at that quite a bit.
Now,
Like when I need to know.
were there any direct inspirations? You had mentioned a few at the top of the show, but we have other viewers here. What were your direct inspirations for Cold Cutter?
Yeah, so probably, like I said, the Jew Gangster by Joe Kubert. David Lloyd's Kickback. He had a graphic novel 10 or so years ago that really, it was not maybe the best artistic book I've ever seen, but it's had a great story, and the way he did his sequentials was just great. TV shows like Mike Hammer, comic strips like Rip Kirby by Alex Raymond. Alex Raymond did some really, really fine work. I mean, it was all like photorealism in the 40s and 50s.
Right.
A lot of the comic book artwork back then was really not that good, but the comic strip guys, they were the best. They really were.
Some guys were definitely ahead of their time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Zorro comic strips that I would see in the papers.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really like very rendered backgrounds, very lush, very detailed. You didn't see a lot of that in a lot of the mainstream comics. That again, not to take away from Kirby, but Kirby didn't put into a lot of his backgrounds.
Right.
He didn't put too much effort into his backgrounds, like say Joe did.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys that came behind, like after Kirby. But I think it's because Kirby had assistants. Like after
Kirby was also on how many books?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. He turned out five a month or something, 10
By
a
the way,
month,
it's
whatever
very
it was.
common back then, though, to have a background ghost artist. They didn't get credit, but they did the backgrounds. I mean,
Yeah.
Buscema, he did 10 books a month, and they were as loose as hell.
Right.
His inkers were really the ones doing the art at that point.
Yeah, right.
Even Frank
Right.
Miller did that with Joe Rubenstein.
Yep.
Joe,
Yes.
when you look at the Wolverine miniseries, that's more
Love it.
Joe than that is Frank.
That's
Wow.
Joe. Yeah, it is, and that's one of my early influences. Yeah, Frank Miller's layouts, Joe Rubenstein's art on that miniseries
And no
was one of the first things
disrespect
I really remember. You know,
and no disrespect to Frank Miller, but I've never been a big fan of his art. But I liked the art in Wolverine, and I always wondered why it was different. And when I interviewed Joe, he said because they were so loose and rough, I was the one rendering and tightening up.
Yeah.
So that's why I liked the art. It was Joe.
Yeah, Joe's fabulous. I mean, he come out of the Neil Adams studio. You know, there's a lot of slick inkers come out of there. They were taught to draw from
By
life.
the way, what did you ever read John Sable Freelance with Mike Grell?
Not yet. I've seen it in the past.
Good.
I've never checked it out, but I will.
Yeah.
I really like Mike Grell's work. It's really awesome.
And that's like a more modern take with a noir kind of feel. You know, I mean, he's the spy and espionage, but it's got a noir feel to it. Oh my God, here's Robert Gencarelli. We have just brought down the quality of the show. You don't like Miller's scribbles? No, I do not. Don't get me started. Kubert had the traditional illustrator aesthetic like Buscema and Frazetta and Wrightson. He could translate his style to commercial work and then back to comics. Great artist. I agree with you on that 100%. And speaking of Grell and everything, Warlord. Thanks. I was going to ask you to do that, Raphael. Raphael dropped over the link. We're going to wrap this up in a minute, but I'm going to give Charles the floor in a minute. I'm going to play the trailer one more time. We're going to go over the campaign real quick again. But I can't tell you enough that Charles is a good man, and he really, really could use your support on his first campaign. Let's get him started real well. Your money's not going to waste. It's a solid and entertaining book, and he's a good dude. So please, let's get him funded within the first 2 days so he doesn't have to poop himself, because Kickstarters are gut-wrenching. I mean, it's such an up and down roller coaster. You feel triumphant 1 minute and you feel defeated and deflated the next. Let's not let anybody feel that way. Please, if you're into crime noir, pledge. You'll be happy you did. And if you're not, share it out and just let everybody know it's there. That costs nothing but 10 seconds of your time to hit share it out. Share this video out, this live stream. Share out the link anytime or his posts. Just get it to as many new people as possible. If you have a friend that's into crime noir, send him his way, please. Let's do this. Plus, the more we make, the more he gives you away free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff?
True.
That's right.
So, real quick, we're gonna go over the campaign again. And Charles nervous for the first interview mugshot. You're a funny dude. So look, I don't know why. Oh, that showed mine. That's why. We got a $5 PDF for a 26-page book. All right, that's more than a normal Marvel DC book with no ads. It's like 10 pages more if you minus the ads. Okay, $5. No shipping expenses. No waiting for fulfillment. You'll get the PDF as soon as Kickstarter sends him the money. It's $5. Can't beat that. It might be your next read that you really love, and hey, what else you got to do while you're on the toilet? So we've got cover variant Studio A by Kenny Calderon. Hey, Kenny Calderon, who's here. The tubs to my Crockett. And it's a great cover, and we'll show it again. For $10, you've got the Charles Morgan and the touch-up colors by Rob Powers cover. For $10, you've got the Charles Morgan and Giorgio Rosasco cover. For $10, you've got the black and white edition with gray tones of Kenny Calderon's cover. And then just for $15, you're going to get an artist legend, Joe Rubenstein's inks over Charles Morgan's lines, and Jesse Hagee, who's a colorist for Zenoscope and some other companies, and he's really talented. So that's going to be there. And then you can pick any 3 covers of the 5 for $30. You can get a 9x12 original piece of art. It's not published in the book. It's not a cover, but for $50, I mean, it's a steal for 9x12, black and white, inked. 65 if you want to make all 5 covers a virgin. Who doesn't like virgins? Covers, that is. All in foil, $85. You want every cover in foil, you get a nice foil package, $85 for the 5 covers. Oh, someone bought one of the original pieces of art, Charles. It's gone.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah, one of the 9x12s is gone.
Cool.
And for $150, you get original cover art, 11x17 by Kenny Calderon. So Kenny's cover, thank you, Kenny. It's his original artwork. For only $150, you're going to get a published cover by LL Cool J. So, oh, wait a minute. That was bought too. Somebody bought it. It is no longer available. It is gone. It is gone.
Wow.
I got to refresh my page.
Yeah, it is gone. Woo!
Okay. Awesome.
Very cool.
I'm sad I'm losing it, but yeah.
Double checking. Let's refresh this because sometimes it just shows the amount go up and sometimes. So that's the deal. This is the team. The Vulture, Jason Meadows, awesome dude. He's the letterer. Man, if I wasn't married, that guy is hot. LL Cool J, sitting on a street drum. Rob Powers, looking like the Def Shogun, who did the trailer, the colors on the one cover, and the trade dresses. Joe Rubenstein, look at him looking like a model. He's like all smooth like a baby's bottom. I gotta tell him, he looks all smooth like a baby's bottom in his professional portfolio. Look at that. Woo, woo. Jesse Hagee. I think he's still in Phoenix. Giorgio Rosasco, the colorists. Got some interior pages for you to look at. Art and inks by the great Charles Winston Morgan. That's your nickname. I'm going to call you Winston from now on.
Winston.
We got stickers galore for stretch goals. This is the Kenny Calderon cover that's sold. This is the Charles Morgan cover with splash colors by Rob Powers and trade dresses on all of them. This is the other Charles Morgan cover with the great Joseph Rubenstein inks. Size does matter. Anyway, you got a cover with sound effects. It doesn't get better than that, man. That's old school. Charles Morgan, Giorgio Rosasco, blam, butter, butter, cow, kapow, rat-tat, rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. And we got the black and white cover version with gray tones. It's not just black and white. It's got gray tones by the great Kenny Calderon. Look at that. And one of these pieces sold. I'm not sure which. I have to take a look. But that might be the one that sold.
Yeah, that's the one.
This one. That's a cool one. I like that.
That's a nice piece.
Yeah, that's a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And he's got that laser focus. I was like, I want to shoot
very
you.
well rendered. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And we got this.
That's a great one too.
Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that.
Then you can make it a virgin or a foil or both. So what are you waiting for? The art is going fast, so pick up that art. The books are available. Let's do this. Let's do this, Brutus, because I ain't new to this. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm going to show this trailer one more time. I'm going to give the floor to Charles, and then we are going to go, and he's going to wake up to a funded project. Right, guys? I will toilet paper your house if you do not fund this project. I will do that. I have plenty of toilet paper. Trust me. All right, let's do this one more time. The great Raphael Tavares Jr. with his sexy, deep voice that just makes you want to make love. All right. Here we go.
3 a.m. Times Square, New York City. I can't sleep. Might as well come down to the street to get a smoke. The name is Dylan Kutter. My professional life as a private investigator has been interesting, to say the least. My personal life has all but been destroyed by the murder of my brother and partner by a drug lord named Jabbo Jones. He's now on death row to get his.
So what are you waiting for, people? Let's see this number go. Let's at least get him to 500 tonight and get him 25% funded. Come on, let's do it. Your brother was saying sound effects like Kubert Sergeant Rock. There you go.
Hey, yeah.
We got 29
That's
days
right,
to go. 6 backers so far. Let's get this to 10 backers tonight, and let's get them close to $1,000. Come on, people. Let's do this. Let's support. We complain about the stuff that's being force-fed by the big companies, but we're not supporting the little guy. The little guy is the one that's giving you all he's got, all the passion, all the new ideas, all the creativity. Those are the guys you got to take a chance on. You know, you keep buying books every Wednesday, walking away going, why am I still spending this money? Well, go take a shot on an indie book. What did it cost you? $5 on a PDF or $10 on a book? It's worth it. Give it a shot. And that Ralph guy needs a lozenge. So come on, guys. Guys and gals. Ladies and gentlemen. Children of all ages. Come on out. Charles has 15 illegitimate kids to feed. So, all right. That's the deal. So, I'm going to give you the floor. I want you with passion and conviction. Don't put us to sleep. Tell us why we ought to get this book.
I believe in the story. I believe in the art. I believe in the whole project. I just ask you to give it a chance and back this book. I promise you won't be disappointed. It's got the human drama, the human element. It's got emotion. It's got characterization. It's got action, and it's got a cliffhanger. And I really think you will not be disappointed. It's going to be an awesome read and a very enjoying piece of entertainment.
And if someone's not normally into crime noir, what do you think would make them interested in this book? Because I'm not into crime noir and I liked it.
I believe the flow of the book is more akin to a superhero book, because it opens with about 7 or 8 pages of action. I got about 7 or 8 pages of story, and it ends with 7 or 8 pages of action. And that's a very basic formula. And I really believe that that's what makes the pacing so good about this book. And if you're not into crime noir, there's that, like I said, there's the human element. There's, the raw emotion. There's a backstory and a cliffhanger. So I'll just ask you to give it a chance.
And I'll agree with that, because one of my issues usually with crime noir is, to me, it drags and it's boring. Hearing a man talk to himself in his own head kind of makes me want to put a bullet in my head. But this moves. It moves, and there's, like you said, this human element, and that's the key to writing, right? We want to read characters that we can relate to, and it's a revenge tale, and it's a hero's tale and a hero's journey, and it's good. I really like it, and the art is solid, as you can see, and like I said, Charles has got a lot of child payments to make to the court, so you got to back this campaign. I
appreciate that so much, Phil. I really do, and like I said, I really think that if you give it a chance, you're going to enjoy it.
Very cool. All right, guys, this is the beginning. All right, we're in the first 3 seconds of this 15-round fight. Let him be victorious before the end of this round. Let's go. What are you waiting for? I'll find you. Charles, It's always a pleasure, my friend. I'm glad we met
Thank you.
on Facebook. I appreciate you. Kenny, of course, it's always great to be your art rep and your friend and your business, mutual business partner. And I think it was a great collaboration. Your cover looked awesome. The book is awesome. It's well worth the money. I don't have any friend that's worth $58 unless I like their products. So, no, I'm just kidding. In all seriousness, pick it up, guys. All right. You got to support it. All right. So, Charles, thanks. And this is going to be a long haul. I'm warning you. This is going to be a roller coaster month for you. It's going to be up and down. You're going to have pledges, and then you're going to have people canceling, and then you're going to have pledges and people canceling. Yeah. And it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be exhilarating. You're going to feel like you're on top of the world, and you're going to feel like you were kicked in your gut. And it's all going to be minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, okay, week to week.
Okay.
But in the end, you're going to fund. And when you see that book and you hold it in your hands, it's going to be one of the greatest feelings of your life. And I'm very serious about that.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate that. I know that once it gets in my hands, I'll be very excited. And I really appreciate you guys and Legendary Illustrations for all the help that they've done on my book.
Anytime.
Support from you.
Anytime, man. We're here anytime you need.
Absolutely.
So that's it, guys.
I appreciate
Cold
it.
Cutter issue 1 is on Kickstarter right now. The link is there. Thanks to Rafael Tavares Jr. If you wouldn't mind, Rafael, at the end of the show, drop it in again so it's easy to find. We really need you. Indie creators need you. We need money funneling into the indie industry, or it's going to dry up. If you want quality books, if you want the quality to even get better and raise its bar, you have to invest in us. We need you. If you're tired of the crap that's out there or being force-fed to you, if you think it's not original or it's not fresh or there's no passion behind it anymore, then give an indie guy a shot. Pick one guy a week, and for $5 you get a PDF, or $10 you get a book. One indie guy a week or a month or whatever you can afford. Forego that one cup of coffee or a Happy Meal or something, and support indie, because we do care.
Absolutely.
And when you support a book, you're supporting artists, you're supporting editors, you're supporting letterers, you're supporting people who trade dress, who color, who ink. You're supporting a whole slew of people that are trying to make their lives what they want it to be and be happy. You are supporting that while getting a good product in your hands that you can enjoy. You never know. You may find that next book that makes you excited again, like you were when you used to go to a comic store on Wednesdays, or if you were as old as me, on Tuesdays, or was it Fridays even? So you never know. You might find that book that you're excited to get the next issue again, and really brings that passion out in you. So give it a shot. What is $5 in the scheme of the money you've pissed away? It's not a lot. What is $10? $10. I mean, if you smoke, you spend 6 times that just for a freaking carton of cigarettes. If you go to the bar every weekend, you're pissing out all that money literally. $10 gets you a good, entertaining read. All right? Don't make me come toilet paper your house. I will find you. Charles, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Kenny, tell us what you got coming up. Plug yourself.
Coming up, let's see. Coming up, well, today I just got notification that issue 2 of Chronicles of Shara Malaise just dropped today. It is available at awpthenovel.com. Or get your copies today. I did everything on that book: the cover art, inks, the pencils, the inks. It was colored by a talented young man, Nico Timbaldi. Fantastic guy. It's a great continuation to book 1. What's next? The tragedy manga is in production. Okay, I see the fanboy smile on Phil's face. And You know,
Great as-
commission spots are open. As always, you know, if there's anything that you're interested in, reach out to Phil. He's you know, he's the man to get in contact in the event that you need anything. Even if you have a project that you want to get off the ground, you know, the guys at Legendary, myself included, we are the one-stop shop. We do everything.
Everything. Editing, writing, inking, penciling, coloring, lettering, cover work, everything.
And do a great job too. Yeah.
Thank you, Charles. And by the way, Kenny reach out to me if you're going to Baltimore.
Yes.
Kenny will be at the table with me and Alex Sarabia for Legendary Illustrations. If you want pre-show commissions, you reach out to me. You could get them picked up at Baltimore by Kenny. Same with Alex Sarabia, two phenomenal artists that you may not know now, but you're going to want to know, because when they blow up, you're going to regret that you never bought a piece of art from them. Because I'm going to rake you all over the coals when they get made. I'm kidding. So pre-commission list is open for Baltimore for Kenny Calderon and Alex Sarabia. So please reach out to me if you're interested, and come see us at Baltimore Comic-Con.
Absolutely.
And I will be at New York Comic-Con. So come say hi. Saturday and Sunday only. I have a 3-foot spot. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Kenny, you're awesome. Charles, you're awesome. I appreciate you both.
Thank you.
Let's see this number go up. Let's go. It's the last weekend of October. What is it, 26th through the 29th, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think to the 30th, because Halloween is on a Monday.
Oh, all right. So like 28th through the 30th then. Okay. That's an amazing show for art and comics. So come check that out. And Cold Cutter #1. Let's go.
Show some love.
Let's do this. I want to see that at $500 tonight. Or I am pulling out the Charmin.
It's going. It's going.
Oh, yeah.
I will squeeze the Charmin. All right, guys. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm so grateful.
I'm looking forward to this funding and celebrating you with you, my friend. We'll talk.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me on. Thank you, Kenny, for coming out, man.
Likewise.
Thank you, Philip.
My pleasure.
By the way, just keep in mind, Friday night we have another live stream drawing of Legendary Illustrations artists, so come check that out. All right? And and Raphael has about 20 illegitimate kids, and he needs more voice acting jobs, so get this book. All right. See you guys later.
See ya.
See ya.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know he was going to say something. All right, guys. In all seriousness, one last time, please, let's show some love, some support. Let's do this. Cold Cutter, issue 1. Not just a crime noir story, but a human story, a hero's journey, a revenge tale, an action comic book with characters you can relate to. Cold Cutter, issue 1. All right. Before we go, I'm going to shamelessly do one quick thing. Please do 2 things. October 1st, which is next Tuesday, Unknown Heroes launches, and that is an awesome hero anthology of a bunch of writers, 7 different artists. My book, The Dynamics, will debut there, as well as Rob Powers' book Cataclysm, Rod Ramos' book Light Warriors, and a bunch of others. So please check that out. The World of Nebulon by James Santana and Hunter Van Lierop, and some other guys. So please check that out. Catch Charles Morgan tomorrow night on the Written Writ, talking with Rafael Tavares Jr. more about Cold Cutter. Go check that out. Go to the Rafael Tavares Jr. page or Written Writ page to check that out. And I'm going to ask you, we got 3 days to go. We just lost another backer, unfortunately. It happens. I get it, but it's nonetheless frustrating. The campaign, it's a tough time of year. The recession is hit. People are hurting. I get it. But again, I've got $6 PDFs for Tragedy issue 4. Can you get us to $7,000 tonight? Can we maybe finish strong, get to $8,000? That would be awesome. We got 3 days left, 4 issues in. We're talking about a book that Chuck Dixon, Peter David, and Howard Mackey say is written well. I mean, it doesn't get greater praise than that. Please check out Tragedy issue 4 with catch-up of issues 1 through 3. You can get all 4 issues here. Even if you just get the PDF, all 4 issues in PDF, $24. All right. And just so you know, here are some of the interiors on the book. Ricardo Silva is the interior artist, Chris Sotomayor colors, and Jason Meadows artist, letterer. Okay. Not playing around, guys. It's a professional level book. We unlock some stretch goals. This sold by Kenny Calderon within like an hour or two. We have art. This sold Domino versus Tragedy, my character. We have a sketch cover Tragedy versus Zealot, the Jim Lee character from Wildcats. Taskmaster versus Breath of the Dragon, which is a character in my book. Elektra versus Tragedy by Sean Carlson. Breath of the Dragon versus Deathstroke the Terminator by Sean Carlson. This sold. This is Mike Lilly, Marvel, DC, and Dynamite artist of Tragedy. On Vu, this is still available. And Mike Gerlich, the Breath of the Dragon Unmasked, this is still available. And we have Ricardo Silva, Tears. We got some cool covers. Professional level work, Alex Sinclair colors, DC and Marvel artists, some great indie artists. Here's a Kenny Calderon cover. Here's a Kenny Calderon manga cover. We got some other nice covers here. Steph Wilson cover we had up above, Ray Acevedo. So we got covers. Len Danovich, book of covers with Ian Churchill, Will Spatasio, and a bunch of other big names. We have a mystery box. And I promise you, you are not getting junk in my mystery box. You'll get foil covers that could be from Will Spatasio, foil cover of Ian Churchill. You know, you can get a cover by Larry Stroman, Sean Chen. You get quality stuff in this mystery box. I promise you. And you're going to get a metal print of the Mike DeBalfo cover. Metal print in the mystery box. I promise you it's not the junk I'm trying to get rid of. It's quality, solid stuff. I believe and stand by what I'm doing, and I believe your money is hard-earned by, at jobs you probably don't like, and I promise you I make it worth your while. So check it out. Thank you, Raphael, for doing that. You like stickers? Here's a sticker pack. Chibis by Rob Powers. We got the set here, and we unlocked the other one. Well, it's too much to scroll right now. We got the comic size print of the Jose Luis. This is a DC artist cover. Look at the detail on that. It's incredible. We've got a comic size print of the black and white, the inked Kevin West, Marvel DC artist cover. Look at the Breath of the Dragon looking so badass. Such a great cover. It needs more love, though. You can make any one of them a virgin, any one of them. You can add a virgin as a set with the trade dress, or you can make them foil, or you can make it a virgin foil. We've also got Ricardo Silva, original 11x17 full figure character with background inked for only $150. Where are you going to find that? Mind you, shipping is $30 though, because it's coming from Brazil. But for $180 with shipping, you're getting a full 11x17 full figure inked piece of background. Where are you going to get that? And his art is phenomenal if you haven't checked it out. All right. So that's Tragedy 4. Please go check it out. If you're tired of seeing me push this, then just pledge on it and I'll leave you alone. All right. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.